approach.
Mr. I don't think I can look at his face. Here, we'll pin us. How about that? He'll be little up at the top. There we go. What happened? Oh, my gosh. What was that?
It's a wasp.
Bee.
Look at the beaver there.
I think it's a bee. Okay. It just, I'm not allergic, luckily. It's kind of, oh, Chuck, you're my hero. Thank you. Oh, I think he's still.
Oh, he's gonna die.
Is he dead? Okay,
It's on his final,
Yeah.
which is.
okay.
Like him suffered.
Okay. All right, welcome to the June 24th, 2025 Rush Planning Board. Usually what I like to let everybody know, if you're gonna be coming up and making an announcement or speaking or asking questions, to please come to the microphone, because it helps with those that are on Zoom. We can usually hear you, but Zoom, it's difficult to hear, so please do that. Marjorie, you want to take roll? I will. Member Moise?
Here.
Deputy Chairman Ask?
Here.
Member Wolcott?
Here.
Member Wisnowski?
Here.
Chairperson Brown? Here. Thank you. All right, we're going to begin with approval of minutes. We have the minutes from April 22nd, 2025. And I'm going to make a motion that we approve the minutes with a change by removing the section beginning with Deputy Chairman asked, and replace it with the comments that Deputy Chairman asked noted, that are also included in the minutes.
Say that again.
I'm asking that the minutes be approved with a change by removing the section that begins with Deputy
Okay.
Chairman asked. That's like a tongue twister. And the verbatim statements being replaced with the comments
Okay.
that you requested in the last meeting. I have a second for approval of the minutes noted with a noted change. Okay, Member Moise?
Aye.
Deputy Chairman asked.
Why does it have to say that?
It's not gonna say that. It's, all it is gonna say this.
Oh, okay.
What you, like,
This line is not,
that line will not be there.
okay. Aye.
Okay, Member Wolcott?
Aye.
Member Wisnowski?
Aye.
And Chairperson Brown? Aye. Thank you.
Thank
Like to make a motion to approve the minutes of May 27th, 2025, unless there's any changes need to be made. Thank you. Okay, Member Moise?
Aye.
Deputy Chairman asked.
Aye.
Member Wolcott?
Aye.
Member Wisnowski? And Chairperson Brown? Aye, thank you. All right. Here, you want me to wait a little bit to see if your guy is here? I don't. Want me to read? We can,
Yeah, we can open it.
we gotta open the public hearing first. So. And then you can go.
Okay, notice is hereby given that pursuant to the provisions of the town of Rush and 274A and 274B of the town law, a public hearing will be held by the planning board of the town of Rush of the Rush Town Hall, 5977 East Henrietta Road, Rush, New York, on June 24th, 2025 at 7 p.m. to hear all persons interested in the following application. Application number 2025-9P by Greenland Surveying for Ken Gordon for a subdivision and site plan application to build a single-family home. The parcel is located at 625 Honeywell Falls 5 Points Road, Rush, New York, with a tax parcel ID number of 227.01-2-6.11 and is zoned R30 residential.
Thank you. Good evening, board members. My name's Ken Gordon. With me this evening is my wife, Jamie Gordon, and we're the owners of 625 Honeywell Falls 5 Points Road in the town of Rush. What we have before you are two applications. One is a subdivision application, the other is a site plan application. The subdivision, our property currently is just over 30 acres. Our proposed subdivision takes approximately 3.5 acres off the northeast corner of that lot to create a new lot on which we propose to build a single family home. The site plan is for that single family home. The home is approximately 2,000 square feet with a raised bed septic system and well in the rear, if you will, southwest quadrant of the subdivided lot, if that lot subdivision is approved. All being handled by Greenland surveyors, Mike Green, Mike Sponable. I was expecting Mr. Green to be here this evening. He may be running late. I'd like to proceed with the public hearing if that's possible, and if there are questions that are posed that I cannot respond to or answer to, perhaps we could just set the matter aside, keep the public hearing open, take your other matter under new business, and then come back to this matter later on this evening on the docket. So that's essentially what our project is. I'd be happy to answer any questions about either the subdivision or the site plan.
Okay. Carl, looks like you have a list of questions. I'll let you go first.
I just had some on the subdivision plan. The plan that I saw online, I have one in front of me, had parcel one, two properties labeled parcel one. So the one to the west of your parcel that is it's actually in the other plan.
Right. Yeah. It's
So I was just confusing. I just want to make sure that there's a clarification as far as but everything else is, I mean, I've never seen so much detail as far as library and page of everything. Although I couldn't find the National Grid or Niagara Mohawk easement listed on the plan. But, anyway, the other thing sorry, these are just some details. They have the Monroe County Geodetic Survey monuments shown 3512 and 3513, but there's a table that is missing any data, and apparently so 3513 has northings and eastings, 3512 has northings and eastings and an elevation. So that information is not on the plan.
No, those are helpful comments. What we can do is we can, if the board is inclined to approve the subdivision, we have those details added, have the lot properly labeled to clarify that, and have the table reference added as well.
Okay. The other thing I noticed on the subdivision plan, the setback was listed at 100 feet. I looked at the table again. It looked like state and county roads, it's 110 feet center line.
This is town road, Honeywell Falls 5 Points Road.
Oh, it's town road.
It is.
Okay, then it is 100 feet. Then it's mislabeled on this plan right here.
This label as a,
On the site plan, there's a table here.
That
It
was
says-
one of my comments.
Okay. All right.
Oh, thanks. Okay.
Oh, we didn't introduce John. Yes, this is John Jones with Marks Engineering.
I didn't want to interrupt. the flow.
Yeah, there's a note on mine, that I'm looking at here. I'm looking at a, site plan, dated May 5th, 2025. It's not signed, so I can't tell you. Hopefully you have one that's signed or will be signed. But there was a note on here. I can find it for you that does reference Niagara Falls Five Points Road as its town.
Yep, that's fine, that's fine. I was wrong. The other thing, there's a stabilized construction entrance detail on the site plan, but there's no driveway.
Yeah. I noticed that myself. The driveway, I don't know if it's on this plan.
It's just a driveway apron detail, that's all.
Right. All we have is sort of a drawing which shows some, apron gravel. And we have not provided that.
Okay, there's a standard town.
Right, and we'd adopt that, add that to the plan.
Okay. Right. The other thing I noticed is there's no, it doesn't show a drainage pipe. There is a swale, looks like there's a swale at the edge of the road. It's,
I mean, there's no piping along there at all, because that fronts, we have that entire frontage along there.
so there's nothing under your existing driveway.
There is not. There is
Okay.
not. There is, there's a bit of a swale, and then the driveway for 625 Pine Falls, I'm talking about our house where we are now. That driveway is fully asphalted to the street. And then the swale continues on the other side. Honestly, we don't get water across the driveway. Even this past week, we didn't send water across the driveway. So whatever's working there is working.
It didn't see the if there's a high point maybe in that area. I didn't
It's
see it.
fairly flat along there and it's all rock, so
It just goes away.
it just goes away and there's.
All right,
You could barely
not a,
You'd have a hard time digging a
They have
pipe in there.
piping under the driveway, pipes and conduit, but not along Niagara Falls Five Points Road. I think that's saying the same thing would be true along our entire side. I'm pretty familiar with the properties there.
okay,
So you get down to six, forget what, down below the hill. Then there's a culvert in the driveway. That's
Oh,
what's
down below.
east. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, all the way east down, it goes down, yeah, but that's down quite a ways from us. This property is on a higher elevation.
I mean, there's a National Grid pole right in front of right next to the driveway. I'm assuming that's where you're intending to get power.
Yeah,
from.
that's where we're gonna pull the power from, and as you see, the driveway configuration shows that the actual curb cut is going to be to the east of that pole. And then run westerly to sort of swing up. We're trying to keep the home a little bit private from the road, left some scrub brush in front to give it a little bit of screening. But power is gonna be pulled from that pole. The house is planned to be within 300 feet or
Yes.
less from that pole, so we shouldn't need a underground transformer. for
Right.
that.
So just hold on one. All right, we can work that out with National Grid. The other thing I didn't see, will we have a basement crock sump?
Yes.
I didn't see an outfall for that.
Interesting.
That would be in the house plan, wouldn't it, for a sump pump?
What's that?
It'd be in the house plan for a sump pump.
Yeah,
Really,
I mean, I could pull out, I have the house plans with me. I don't think you have those details, but there's a crock in the basement. There's gonna be a pump in that crock.
Oh, there are notes on here that just says that you got the roof drains, the splash blocks, and your everything's draining away from the house.
That's all true,
So-
yes.
So I don't have if that's
Yeah.
gonna be included or part of that, then
Yeah.
not a big deal. So we can forgo with that. The other thing that I noticed is the grading lines existing and proposed, or the existing grading lines end before the edge of the new parcel. So I'm assuming that there's not gonna be any drainage issues, everything everything, will, there's no trapped water at the boundary, so that,
There's no, this lot actually, everything I would say, on the subdivided lot that is, included here is, well raised. The property does fall off gradient wise to the south of where the subdivided lot is. So back to the south, it falls off a little, but there's no, standing water, hasn't been any standing water, that hasn't been a problem. As you get much further back and much further west on the property, that's on our property, there is some standing water back in that area, but that's, hundreds of feet from this property.
Yeah. no, I just wanted to, typically, you would see a little bit more, information on the site plan to show that, that information. So, and then your comment on the 1-on-3, needing slope stabilization.
I was gonna go through this.
Okay. So that, I was just gonna clarify, well, you can go through it, I was just gonna make sure it was, you're talking about around the house. So, that's all I got.
Thank you.
But I actually, I thought the information, presented here was a lot, pretty complete. And, so just not used to seeing, not a block for the stamp, so it's just something different anyway. But
You have, yeah, yours does look like it has that engineered stamp on it.
yes,
Okay, we have is there anybody else with comments? Joe?
It should show a paved apron.
It's gonna be paved, not just gravel,
That's correct.
so we'll make that
That's a town
change.
requirement, but all the driveways to the right of way, I believe, are paved.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a comment that it will be,
And you want it to be
required by town or something like that, it's sort of a generic catch-all. These are Ontario County guys, they, this is a town they've done business in, but, not as much as other.
I believe it's town code that we have to have the driveway
This is
apron paved.
So many feet.
So many
Yeah.
feet.
Usually to the.
Code, so I'd have to check.
There's
I'll make sure that change is noted.
Yeah, I can't
There's a standard
That's- I mean,
detail.
that's-
Yeah, it's simple,
If it's
but
anything that's required by, the town code or county, we're gonna make sure as part of the plan, we'll have that amended. I think these are small details that we can add.
yeah, it is.
Right. Yeah. Steve? Okay. So I'm just gonna go through the other comments we've received from other groups. One will be our Engineering Conservation Board
Sure.
and Monroe County Development. So I'm going through this, John, you've reviewed their responses. Or did you get a copy of the responses from,
I am not.
okay,
Oh, okay. We can do a copy.
so it looks like a lot of them have been responded to, but I think we're waiting for the updated.
Yeah.
Plan that your representative is supposed to be bringing
Yes.
to us.
I'm hoping, still hoping.
Okay. So just, I just like to go through these so that I don't know if you were aware, but just so that you know that this is a couple things that we're waiting for.
I'm gonna give my wife my phone so that she can try to give Mr. a call while we're trying to figure out what's going on here. Just give me 1 second.
Maybe he doesn't know where Rush is. Only kidding.
That's not the case.
Look, those people from Ontario County, we have some struggles.
Well, I'm in being, he did a plan here in Rush. I hope he knows where it is.
He's from Lyme.
I think. they're-
Don't know, Carl.
I'm born and raised.
Okay.
Yeah, oh, Newark.
Wayne County, that's.
You're in the right.
That's
vicinity.
different.
Okay, so the first one on here is
Wayne County.
provide a 2-lot subdivision map, which that's the one thing that is supposed to be coming.
Yep.
before the planning chairperson signs, the applicant should obtain approvals and signature from the Monroe County Department, of Health, which,
Of course.
okay. Site distances for the new driveway should be shown on the site plans. It says they've been added to the plan.
Yeah, we gotta see it to believe it, but yes.
It's all good, but I just kind of want you,
If the plans were here and you had them in front of you.
Digital copies, we could pull them up on the TV.
So you did
Might be-
digital copies. of the
I do have the
Oh.
digital copies, yes, so, yeah,
I did not get them, so I couldn't share them with you. and
that's okay.
Mine would be on 8.5 by 11.
Well, I just uploaded them to where everyone can see them tonight because we were off last week, so I,
Sure,
yeah, it was a little,
thank you.
crazy.
Yeah.
okay. Verify the separation distances between the new well and new septic system are met for existing neighboring properties, wells and systems, which,
Sure are, the neighboring property, there is, the neighboring land to the east is vacant. It's a large, I believe, 12-acre parcel, that is vacant to the east. To the south, again, a large, fairly vacant parcel. I think there might be some hunting stands on it. That parcel is even much larger. I think that's probably 30 or more acres. To the west is our subdivided, our lot, we're subdividing this lot. We do have well and septic. Our well is in the front yard, so it is approximately equidistant to where the house pad is for this property. But it is at least 600 feet away from where this house pad is, and at least probably 800 feet from where the well will be, and probably equal 600 to 800 feet from where the septic will be.
it looks like it, and looking at the map.
Yeah,
There-
and our septic field, which is a raised field behind our house to the south of our house. Thank you. Our septic field, which is a raised septic field behind or south of our house, is again, at least 600 to 800 feet from where we got new well on the subdivided lot.
I think there was a dimension on the subdivision plan, 164 feet plus or minus from the house to the property line. So
Yes,
obviously, what's that?
146, I think.
Oh, yeah, I was dyslexic. So anyway, that's,
right.
so
I think
Yes.
we're good.
we're good.
I think we're fine.
I'm just going down to, so it looks like these have been answered, and I guess I'll have a question at the end of this for Kevin and Marjorie.
Thanks, Chuck.
So then, the zoning information table should be updated to include a front setback dimension of 100 feet per town code, which I believe has been done. Additionally, please add the building height and lot coverage percentage to the zoning information table to show conformance with town code sections. So he responded that has been added on there. The square footage of the new home should be listed on the site plan to show compliance with town code, which he's saying that's on there and must be. The proposed slopes 3 of 1 greater should be provided with slope stabilization. The proposed slopes of the property have been revised to be less than 3 on.
That's what I understand.
Please note the new site plan will need to include the seal and signature of the professional engineer prepared at the final site plan will be signed and stamped by the licensed professional engineer. So if this is on the derivation table and these have been answered,
We can still make it, I think I have a general provision in the, or condition in the site plan approval for making sure that the engineering comments have been satisfied, so that would pick up. All of those questions.
Yeah,
concerns.
I haven't. These are just minor comments. I haven't gotten the updated
Okay.
plans yet, but I can just look, make sure.
okay,
And assuming that they're already there, that condition would basically be satisfied at that
okay.
point. in
That's
time.
all,
So we
if
need-
you said exactly what I wanted to hear, that we could add it as a condition.
Yes,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Excellent. Now I will go through the Town of Rush Conservation Board, their resolution on the 2020. I can 2025 Gordon site plan, I'm sorry, site plan and subdivision. On motion of Chairman Watson, second by Member Wilbur, the following resolution was approved. Resolved, the application was reviewed by the board and they approved the project with the following questions or comments. So you're on. I'll read down through them. Application gives contradictory information regarding environmentally sensitive features such as water course. Is there,
There is no water course on this property. There's no mapped wetlands.
was it in the short EAF
I think it-
that a statement was
Yeah.
made in that?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it was. I gotta pull it up, but I didn't see that as an issue in the.
I mean, is it something we can just? Was it marked as it, I guess that's my question on the application, was it marked as a,
All the screens are on. Neighboring property.
Maybe they might.
It's section 3, wetlands and other water bodies, or city management on both of them, including federal wetlands and water bodies, and it's being complete with sort of
what was on the short EAF? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm looking now, I'm trying to find.
water course.
John, do you have the application right there?
Action joint land.
Yeah, so the EAF mapper does check yes for wetlands and water bodies. But
Is that because it's in a relative
That's-
area?
it just means that there could be wetlands
In
and
the
water
area.
bodies in the general area. That doesn't mean it's on your site.
Okay, so
There's nothing.
it's a
else.
non-issue. I just wanted to verify. Thank you.
Thank you.
Project will affect woodlands. Applicant should show how much of the woodlands will be cleared.
I don't know what your town definition of woodlands is.
It's basically half an acre and there's nothing but honeysuckle.
Oh.
And a few trees. I mean,
Well,
there's trees, but
The
most of it's
trees-
honeysuckle.
I will tell you this, the site clearing fella was instructed that he can take down all the dead ash trees he wants and leave everything else alone.
Okay,
Yeah, disturbed.
these are just, these are questions,
Yeah, there's, I mean, obviously there's brush that had to be cut,
right?
a lot of brush. But yeah, we left all the, any a tree of, gosh, probably 6-inch diameter or larger.
I think that's good. So if they want. You're not stripping the land, I guess. is-
No, not at all. In fact, we're trying to give as much privacy to the home as possible.
Exactly.
Preserving the natural environment as much as possible. That's the beauty of the land.
Perfect. I think that's what they want to make sure that they're keeping the integrity of the
There
land.
was a calculation for disturbed area, right?
Yeah, they got the
Yeah.
disturbance limits on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's minor.
It's on a high spot. Yeah,
I know.
everything's
I'm just,
Right.
10 feet to the road, 10
That's right,
feet to
I
the
got
back, 10 feet to the side.
it's a good discussion. Environmental resource mapper has notation of rare plants, I saw that, and animals specifications requested. Is there,
You have
See
to
that.
check the.
I think we
It
looked,
looked like it was written in.
I think it
did
was
not
written
look
in,
like-
I remember
Yeah.
looking at the application on that, and I think,
Yeah,
but I don't think it was necessarily on your property proper. They were covering a larger,
Right, I mean, maybe the mapper has that somewhere in
The area, but
the
not.
area, the general area, but I can tell you, prevalent on our property, I know this is unusual. There are deer.
okay.
Stop the brush.
All right, well, you know what, just for me, I'll see if I
So
can,
just for clarification for everybody, the EAF mapper automatically populates. the-
I know.
This natural animal, it's checked, no, all the other ones he filled in.
it actually, it was on this map right here. This is what they're referring to. It says rare plants and rare animals. And it was hand drawn in. I mean, they don't
Oh,
They
Yeah,
don't
that
note that on the EAF mapper, do they?
No.
No,
Yeah, no.
it was noted on yours. That was just something that they were interested.
So back when
Who
this,
Broke that in.
Yeah, I don't, that's why I don't know. It's, yeah, but it's definitely.
Whoever did your application
Also,
for you.
they wrote in significant natural communities on this side. What that means, but
Do you mind if I walk over and take a look?
go ahead, you can take a look.
so a birds and bunny person did all that, but back, I think I mentioned this last meeting. And I have the map at home that showed all those lots when Dick Mack originally bought it.
Yes.
And Passrow did the site plan and did all this subdivision. There are 3 or 4 corridors. And I can walk out there and kind of tell you where they are, but I don't know that this is on your property. I can't remember, but there is a wildlife corridor from Honeywood Falls, 5 Points Road to my property.
Right, and I just.
4
wanted
of
to-
them.
I wanted to.
So I didn't see it on here anywhere, but I don't know, maybe
So
on-
to the, to the
So it's
extreme,
designated.
to the extreme western half of our lot.
towards
There
Rick
is
and
in
Audrey's.
fact a conservation easement that runs across that portion of the property, It overlaps. Our property and the neighbor to the west. And it's, let's see, it's maybe a 40 or 60 foot corridor, I can't remember what it is, that runs north-south.
And that was
It
for the
is
deer.
nowhere near
This
this
property.
subdivided.
I swear to God.
Right.
So maybe those just, maybe that just carried over from the original.
Right, that's what I'm saying. This might be what some of this is, because there's one on Flannery's property. And then to the east, there's another one.
Drive up the valley.
Like every third lot, there was along the property line, there was a
It
corridor.
actually, it's actually depicted on
Yeah.
the site. That
Okay,
corridor.
good.
And it's well to the subject site or the project site is well to the east of.
Correct.
How wide is
I
it?
mean,
Does it say how wide it is?
it says that it is
30 or 60?
200 feet
Good, I mean, wide.
wide.
Okay,
Wow,
You can't
all right,
build it.
not 60.
okay.
Big deer. We got big deer there. No.
Yeah, they put up signs.
Your problem. Your
Stop
problem.
lights.
You
No,
know?
no trespassing in here.
Great, moving on, sorry. Correction needed for application. It incorrectly describes a project as a re-subdivision, combining lots. I
It-
don't,
Well, that's interesting,
It-
isn't it?
It's
So
semantics almost.
it is, my opinion, it is a resub. So we did combining of lots to take in 12 acres into what was then 18 acres of our property to make it 30. And now we're re-subdividing, it's
Because
not
of
a
the prior.
combination, but it's a separation, creating a second lot of 3.5 acres. Because we're gonna give it the full 12.
okay, you know what, that's a good answer.
That is, okay, I wasn't aware that the prior is, yeah, that's why it would be.
Yeah.
technically the pre-
And Mike Green did the prior resub. So
Okay.
combining them.
Oh, okay.
Consolidate,
They did it
okay.
before.
All right,
It actually was fairly clear. I followed it, the logic behind the whole thing, because he had library and page and.
Yeah, they'll have, that's,
And,
yeah,
and everything was there, so.
I didn't have a problem with it, to be
Yeah.
honest.
okay, we're gonna move on to the Department of Planning and Development for Monroe County. Now, I am gonna paraphrase some of this.
Yeah.
Is that okay, Kevin?
Yeah, oh, absolutely, because there's no point reading it verbatim, it'll be part of the record. anyway.
Because, yes, it'll be part of the record and some of it is boilerplate.
All of it is deep.
Well, I'd
No,
like,
no, certainly, you can certainly summarize the comments at the end, and then we'll have that.
The end comments are, I think, what needs to be addressed.
I think it's the end comments.
Yep.
So in the beginning, they have a talk about maps are submitted to real property for final filing on down there. And then they refer to second item is Article 25A of New York State Egg and Marts, and there's egg and markets laws. So they go through that about trying to maintain,
We're in agricultural,
yes,
solid.
Yeah, development of this property should be designed so that it does not alter existing drainage facilities used by adjacent parcels. Okay. On to the last page. From the Monroe County Department of Health, the project, proposed project is subdivision of land that does not require realty subdivision. Okay. From the Monroe County Department of Transportation, the project was not sent to Monroe County Department of Transportation for review because it's a town road.
Right, and there's another indication that it's town road.
Correct.
Yep.
Monroe County Department of Environmental Services. The project was not sent to Monroe County Environmental Services for review because we don't. And same with the last one, New York State Department of Transportation, because it's not on state road. So these, it looks like we've met everything that's needed with the Monroe County Department of Planning Development.
You don't have a water main.
You don't know.
No, the owners of the town did not ask.
Okay, we're not gonna bring up that.
It's not this board's problem.
Correct. All right, are there comments from anyone else? No? Are there comments by anybody on Zoom?
Anybody?
Anybody? Good, I see a head shaking no. Okay. I make a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll second that.
Okay, Member Moise.
Aye.
Deputy Chairman Ast.
Aye.
Member Wolcott.
Aye.
Member Wisnowski.
Aye.
Chairperson Brown.
Aye. Based on the review, are there to go through the resolution? Some
I
can,
just wanna see what are what conditions, to make sure, probably you had some things you wanted to
Yep.
see in the map, I just wanna make sure I've got, if you can just. I just wanna make sure I get these incorporated properly.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep, no worries.
The ones I think that we need to, the 100-foot setback on the site plan. Sheet.
Okay.
It's correction on there. I guess you feel you're covered with all the splash blocks, drainage away, so on, nothing there.
Your first point, I already commented on that, so, you know, I mean, you can still make it, but I've already covered it in the letter.
Okay,
Was that for the 100
Yep.
foot setback?
Yeah,
Oh, that was, okay, so. it was
Yeah.
perfect. Okay, then I did read that.
And you're gonna dovetail in responding to, addressing all of the engineers.
Yes, I heard.
that's
I
what
already
we
had
have,
that
we have
condition
that
number
listed
one,
on
so
there.
That'll pick up all of those, so there's no reason to itemize them.
We have the driveway, though, that needs to be added as a condition that to show the end of the driveway,
yeah,
Driveway
two I got off the top of my head is add a driveway detail,
correct,
then the pavement.
and the paved apron.
I guess the only other thing is that if the Monroe County monuments were used in the survey, I think the monument information, there's a table with dashes. But I would think that they would, if they're gonna put a table in there for the monument information, there, you should populate that table.
Or delete the table altogether if they didn't use the monuments, correct?
Yes, they have to show the monuments that are, you know, that are near the property.
Right.
But, you know, I don't know what, typically that would be their basis for, establishing, their estate plan coordinates, so,
So it'd be, the monument tables will be populated with accurate coordinates.
Yes.
And or deleted if, or
Yeah.
just, or. Oh,
no, I think it needs to be put in there.
Okay.
Cause that information is right on the Monroe County GIS, I didn't even see it there before.
Gotcha.
Thanks.
The only thing other comment you had, but I didn't look at it, was on that subdivision sheet about the parcel numbers.
Yeah, I just, it looked like
Clarifying.
two ones.
Yeah.
Clarifying parcel numbers.
Parcel number is what? Gotcha. If it's one, A and B, or if it's A and B, or if it's 1 and 2, or whatever. Some distinguishing demarcation.
Yeah, so we're gonna call that, page out of the two lots of it.
To distinguish the number.
Nitpicking.
Is the driveway apron, is that an accurate?
Yeah, driveway apron per town
Per town
detail.
code, yeah. I just wanna make sure driveway apron is.
Yeah,
Proper.
yeah, that's good.
Driveway entrance.
I think Dad would just pave their whole driveway for him, but what do I say?
I wish he was my dad.
Update site plan with the demarcation of the two lot subdivision to distinguish the numbering. Incorporation of the driveway detail. And then the incorporation of the driveway entrance apron to the subject property.
So I'm gonna read through the resolution and you'll read
I'll
those
pick it.
conditions for me,
Yeah.
correct?
Once we get to that plan, I will pick it up for you.
Okay. We all set? Okay, resolution for subdivision and site plan approval. Whereas the planning board of the town of Rush, the planning board, has examined application 2025 9P for the Gordon re-subdivision and site plan approval submitted by Green Land Surveying P LLC on behalf of Kenneth W. Gordon, the applicant, the owner of that parcel of real property located on 625 Honeyway Falls, 5 Points Road, Rush 14543.
We are actually.
That's what I thought.
4472.
Pull that off.
Tax map number 227.01-2-6.11, the property. The applicant is requesting the subdivision of the approximately 30.44 acre property into two individual lots of approximately 26.996 acres and 3.44 acres
Approximately.
Give or take.
respectively, the proposed subdivision and the construction of a single-family residence on the smaller lot. And whereas the planning board has examined the documents, maps, and other materials filed with the application, including the environmental assessment form, and all having reviewed the proposed subdivision map, site plan, environmental reports, comments, and reports from the town professional staff, the public, and other interested and involved agencies associated with the application, including Monroe County Planning and Development, and whereas a public hearing on the application was held on June 24th, 2025, and notice was posted as required by law. And whereas all persons at the hearing desiring to speak on the matter were heard, all correspondence on the matter was read, and all comments and statements that were received during the public hearing and or at other duly held meetings of the planning board were considered by the planning board. And now therefore be it resolved that the planning board has determined that it is the most appropriate agency for making the determination of significance thereon under seeker, and is therefore the appropriate lead agency to conduct an environmental review of the action. The planning board determines that this is a type 2 action under secra requiring no further action or a determination of significance by the planning board. It is further resolved that in accordance with the requirements of the town, New York Town Law in chapters 100-27 and 120-69B of the Code of the Town of Rush, the planning board grants final approval of this proposed subdivision and site plan subject to the following conditions. One, the applicant shall meet all requirements of the town engineer as indicated in the town engineer's letter dated June 16th, 2025. The applicant shall obtain approval signatures of the town engineer and the Rush Planning Board chairperson prior to filing with the Monroe County Clerk's Office. The applicant shall obtain all necessary local, state, and federal permits and approvals required for the project.
The applicant should provide an updated site plan incorporating the following. Demarcation of the 2-lot subdivision to distinguish the numbering. The driveway detail for access to the proposed residence from the public road. The incorporation of a driveway entrance apron to subject property. And the monument table shall be populated with the accurate coordinates.
I make a motion for approval of the site plan.
Can we just change that last one instead of accurate, make
Yep.
it published?
Published. Gotcha.
And elevations, is there any elevation?
There's an elevation of 3512.
So shall provide monument, updated monument table to provide, shall be populated with published coordinates.
And elevation.
And elevation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
Can I have a motion to approve the site plan?
Heard you say a motion to approve the site plan, was a motion to approve the site plan and.
And subdivision, thank you. Thank you.
You're looking for a motion? I'll move to adopt the resolution as is, yeah.
And second,
I'll second.
all right, member Moise.
Aye.
Deputy Chairman Ast.
Aye.
Member Wolka.
Aye.
Member Wisnowski.
Aye.
Chairperson Brown.
Aye.
Thank you, board members. Thank you, Ms. Anderson. Thank you, Ms. Pilkington.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice to
You-
meet
you were-
Finally.
Thank you for giving us all that information. That was very helpful.
My 13 years in Brighton Town Attorney.
Excellent. Thank you.
Good night.
Okay. Very good. We have new business, for what'll be next month, 2025 10P, the Horse Pole Barn site plan, West Scottsville Road. Marjorie, I know comments were sent.
Yes,
Oh.
I believe I gave Larry until the 3rd to get us, updated plans and everything, but this is. Do you want me to read what the issues were?
Sure.
Sure.
So. I sent an email to Larry, asking for him to cite the dimensions of the driveway length and the building setbacks from the property lines. Because the driveway looks to be just over 500-foot length, he will need to show a 24-foot wide and 50-foot long fire truck pull-off, as well as a turnaround on the east side of the building with the adjoining parking lot. And John suggested the east side of the parking lot to have the turnaround. If the neighbors that share the driveway with Luke continue to still use the driveway, which I don't think they do, but there will need to be an easement notated. and, or in place. If the limits of disturbance are over an acre, the topsoil stockpile should be shown on the plans, but I believe it does say on the plan, I think that it's at less than that, like a half acre or something. There should be a construction access shown on the plans. Luke mentioned the water service to me. So Larry said he's just hearing about the water, so he will make the changes. We believe it's public water on Rush Scottsville Road. So I said, please show this in the utility call outs on the plans. And there will need to be a signature, I guess, from Monroe County Water Authority. And then to add all the general notes and signature blocks to the plans. And I asked for 9 updated copies by July 3rd. And he said he would make the changes.
Was he running any utilities back to this at all?
I'm assuming if he's doing water, he's probably going to be doing electric. But I don't know that for a fact, and I don't know if he's planning on putting in a restroom, and that's why he wants the water. I'm not fully sure about that.
I don't know that the water authority will give them a service unless you do a barn, typically they won't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not a single family.
You can provide service.
Well, if.
Yeah.
Put in a backflow preventer and do
Yeah,
all that.
that's.
Cause if he was gonna run electric, he didn't have anything shown
He's
with.
got no utility shut.
Yeah,
Yeah, nothing,
No.
so.
So if his driveway is 20 feet wide, he still needs a pull off?
Yeah, oh, does he? Okay.
It doesn't matter how wide it is, it's just length.
Okay,
If it's over 500 foot length, you gotta.
but can the pull-offs be incorporated into that 20? I mean, like,
So he's only gotta expand,
like a little bit,
so the poles have to be 50 foot in length, but for that 50 foot section. He's only got, because it's already 12 foot wide, he's only got, or maybe it's
20 feet, he
So
should.
he's only gotta expand that foot,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
just for that section.
Just for that area.
All right, that makes,
They can pass, because. Truck's 8 feet wide, but then the mirrors stick out another 2 feet, so.
no, and there's gonna be a lot of them coming in and out at the same time.
Well, you know, if they're hauling water, it happens, so.
All right, so we'll be getting an updated one with, based on those comments.
that's what.
Yes.
All right, very good. Thanks, Marjorie.
Uh-huh.
Make sure we get better.
All right, is there any other comments? Business?
I just had a question.
Sure.
I brought it up a couple meetings ago, and I don't know if we have a have resolved this question. The signing at the gas station.
Oh, we did bring that up.
They said they were coming back to present that, but they've got signing on the building and in front. So the question is just, do we need to make any, was there any action that needed to be taken by the planning board, or was that approved by code enforcement or just, I have no issue with it. I just want to make sure we're following.
Were there any conditions of our approval for, they were supposed to come back with?
I had asked the question, what about signs? And they said, well, we don't have those yet. We're gonna come back.
I was gonna say, they didn't have those shown. The big one, I don't believe was shown on the.
Right, they didn't have.
It wasn't on the,
We should, this board should review the proposed signage and make sure that you're comfortable with it and didn't have any conditions for that before it goes up.
it's up.
It's on
That's,
the-
that's why I was asking, and you know,
it's in
every,
place.
they just replaced tough trucks with another sign, so, you know.
So it was a pre-existing sign and they went,
On the building, they just changed it to the name of their
Yeah,
establishment.
it's Rush Market.
I'm gonna take a quick look and I'll talk to John
Yeah.
about that.
Little bit. of it.
Pre-existing and you're going right over it, they changed the light. Do we know?
They changed lighting.
I'm asking, was the sign lit in.
It doesn't light up, I don't think, does it? I
Have
haven't seen
can't
it,
say I
and
looked
I-
at
I
it.
know.
That's the difference.
I don't know.
Let me follow up, John, because I don't know. They should have come back for signage, but if he signed off on their building permit and said that it's compliant with code, then.
Yeah.
Then it's a little more no harm, no
So
foul.
it
but
really, yeah, it is.
John knows.
John, no,
the
I know, but I
sign,
just-
But yes.
I just
don't-
wanna, I wanna know if
we don't
he had
know
any
where
conversation with
that's
them or signed off on it, and if not, then we certainly can make them follow the rules and. You know, do it even though it's already.
Right. I just think we just need to put a period on that.
Yeah.
So, not a big deal. Thank you.
Thank you. I will find out and I'll circle back with you and let everybody know.
Right. Making a motion to adjourn the building. the meeting.
I don't think we can do that.
Sorry. I was thinking,
One day,
not really.
Second.
second it.
Now that we're done with business, I'll formally introduce myself. I'm John.
I'm sorry, John.
Yes, I should have done that too myself. I totally, it's like I've seen you now a few times, so
Yeah.
it's like I already know you. who you are.
I know.
The board doesn't know who you are. So John is one of the engineers for Marks Engineering in Canandaigua. They are our new town board engineers. Yeah, we voted on it. So there we go. I was trying to come up with a resolution like blah, 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 but it didn't work. So, okay, so member Moise.
Aye.
Deputy Chairman Ask.
Aye.
Member Wilcox. Member Wisnowski. And Chairperson Brown.
Hi.
All right.
Thank
We're
you.
adjourned. Or before eight, I mean.
I just sent you the replies.
Oh.
Okay.
Thank you.